This is a story that I remember from my childhood. And it could be maybe like a mixture of two stories. You guys probably remember a lot really well. But as you get older, you start to forget. So I could be mixing. Anyways, in my family, there was 4 of us. And we had to ride the bus every day to school. And so where we live, there are trees. What type of trees do you think there are around there?
Orange trees.
That's right. So that's what I brought this. Now this doesn't look orange, it's green, right? But we know that it's going to turn color. And so for our purposes, we're going to assume that this is orange, not green. And we would get dropped off. You guys don't ride the bus these days, do you? So we would get dropped off, and then we would have to walk to our house. These days, maybe the buses drop you off right next to your home, but we had to walk quite a distance, maybe a quarter mile, sometimes a half a mile. And so in the afternoons, and it wasn't just us, there were other kids that got dropped off. And so we would be walking, and sometimes we'd walk inside the trees. And when you're a kid, you know, you're walking, and what are some things you do when you're walking along as a kid, and you're there where there's a bunch of trees? What do you guys do? You pick things up, little sticks. Sometimes oranges fall on the ground, sometimes it's dirt clods. And so sometimes during the year, there would be this on the ground. You guys know what this is?
An orange.
This is a rotten orange. And so when you're walking on and you see a rotten orange on the ground and then you see somebody up, like your brother or a friend, what might you be tempted to do?
Make them eat.
No, we didn't make them eat it. We used to like to throw things. And so it probably started that way. Somebody picked it up and then they threw it down. And the next one they saw, they picked it up and they just went like this, right? Toss it under their hand. And whoever's in front, they would look behind. Who did that, right? Who did that? And what do you think the person in front who got this toss at them would do? They would pick one up and they would throw it back. And pretty soon what you would have is a rotten orange fight where you're throwing stuff. Now imagine if you can't find something, you're just going to pick something up. And so what I have here is this. And what happened, we were having a rotten orange fight and somebody picked up a dirt clod. This represents the dirt clod, and at that time the dirt clods were really hard. And they threw it hard because, you know, at first you start really soft, right? You're not wanting to hurt, but when you get in the heat of this battle, you're not thinking, right? And you're not processing that maybe this could hurt somebody. And so I think it was my brother who picked it up and threw it, and he hit another kid right in the back. And that kid got hurt, and he fell to the ground, and he was crying. And then when that happens, right? When somebody starts crying when you're playing, what happens? Somebody gets in trouble, right? Because you have to tell the adults, well, why is this kid crying? And so, sure enough, somebody got in trouble. I can't remember exactly how everything happened, but somebody got in trouble. And this is what I want you guys to think about. When you get in trouble, what are some of the things that you might want to do so you don't get in trouble, right? When you've done something wrong, what is your temptation sometimes to do? If your parents ask you, or if an adult asks you, what did you do, or did you throw it? What are sometimes kids going to say? I didn't do it, right? And they turn around and they walk the other way, hoping that, you know. Sometimes we try to hide things when we do it wrong. And so when I think about that incident where somebody did something wrong, I don't remember if they tried to hide it. I don't remember if they tried to say, it wasn't me, it was somebody else, it was this person. But I do remember as a kid growing up, when I would do something wrong, the temptation to not tell the truth, right? And so I want you guys to think about that. Sometimes you're just playing around and somebody gets hurt. So instead of just saying, oh, I didn't do it, or it was somebody else, if you did do it, the best thing is to say, it was me. And then what do you say after that? I'm sorry, right? And that's how we learn as we grow. So I want you guys to think about that the next time you see a rotten orange or a rotten piece of fruit on the ground. I want you to remember this story. Remember the lesson. The lesson is not that you're not supposed to have fun when you're a kid, but sometimes when you're having fun and you do something wrong, don't be afraid to say, it was me and I'm sorry. Okay? You guys can go collect your offering now.